Club. If you're new here, this is a channel all about sneakers and sneaker culture. So if that sounds good to you, make sure that you subscribe and also just comment, like on the videos and enjoy the content. So today we're going to be discussing the history of Reebok. I'm also going to do our handy what's in the box segment where we learn a new sneaker culture term every time I do a history run. Okay, if you guys can see, my arm is like mad pink. Listen, your girl is actually having, I don't even know what to call it. You know when you're just having a time in your life where you're just getting curveball after curveball after curveball after curveball. I've been getting curveballs since Saturday. Like, today is Tuesday morning. Oh guys, I'm actually filming in the morning today. Like, my life has been so hectic. I haven't had time to film. It's actually Tuesday morning and I'm going to edit this video tonight to get it to you guys on, well, when you see it today on Wednesday. Yeah, it's just been like hectic, you know what I'm saying? It's just been curveball after curveball. Let me just tell you what happened. So on Saturday, I was in some life drama. Yeah, I had some life drama that I had to deal with. And then Sunday, I was just so depressed from the life drama on Saturday that I was just like, okay. Then Monday, I just had just like a really busy day. And then something really bad happened at work. And like, I just freaking missed it. I don't know how it happened. Like, I'm always so on point with my stuff. So when I'm like not on point with my things, it actually like affects me. So yeah, that like affected my mood. And oh, also yesterday when I was running, I got stung by a bee. Yeah. Listen, the devil's just throwing mad curveballs at me. But we move, like we continue, we keep enduring, we keep pushing because, you know what I'm saying, like what we're trying to do is bigger than ourselves. So yes. Outside of my life drama, let's get into it. Okay, so Reebok. I don't know how you guys feel about Reebok, but Reebok is like for me one of those brands that is like, I mean, it's not like moving, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I haven't seen a campaign by them, a shoe by them. Well, there are some shoes that I like, but I haven't seen like campaigns by them, stuff by them that is just like life-changing type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like things that make you stop and stare type of stuff. I haven't seen that from them. But also, if you guys have seen some stuff that is actually like really good stuff that you've seen that has been done by Reebok, please feel free to share. Okay, so Reebok was founded in Bolton, England by Joseph William Foster in 1895. Like most sneaker brands, they actually started off by creating running shoes. They even created these running pups that actually became quite popular amongst the athletes of that time. In 1924, in fact, an Olympic champion named Harold Abrahams actually won the 100 meters in Paris, running in Reebok running pumps. In 1958, however, William Foster's grandsons decided to start a subsidiary called Reebok. A fun fact about Reebok is that it's actually named after the grey Reebok from South Africa, which is an African antelope. It's actually the Afrikaans word for the animal. So I found that really interesting that we actually have a brand out there that's actually named by a language from our country. Yeah. Afrikaans being a language from our country is debatable, but you know what I mean, you get what I'm saying. In 1979, they actually expanded to the US and their sales started to boom in the millions and they started to become the big corporation that we know them to be now. An interesting fact though is that in the 80s, they actually overtook Nike and Adidas in terms of sales because they had expanded to other sports as well, such as tennis and basketball, most especially in tennis because they even developed a shoe called the Revenge Club, which nowadays is known as the Club C85. Reebok has also created apparel for the NBA, the women's NBA, as well as the US Olympic basketball teams. However, the 1990s were a bit of a hard time for them because, as you guys know from my previous videos, brands such as Adidas and Nike started to take shine in those times. For example, Nike, that's the year that that's the era that around about that time, that's when they started to their deal with Michael Jordan started to take off, and with Adidas, they were really booming in terms of hip hop and street culture, especially after tying themselves to names like Run DMC. The dip eventually continued, and eventually they were bought out by Adidas in 2005 and became a subsidiary of theirs. Since 2010, however, Reebok has gone on to create a stronghold in fitness and training, even partnering with CrossFit and becoming the brand that is well known for that. In terms of celebrity collaborations and deals, if you've watched my previous video on the history of sneakers in sports, you will know that there are names such as Allen Iverson that have worked with Reebok and actually given the second longest running shoe in basketball shoe history. And then there's also Shaquille O'Neal. He gave them the Shaqnosis and Shaq Attack. And then there's also Shawn Kemp, who actually gave them the Kamikaze shoe. These sports stars are like people who have really done like a really big name for Reebok when it came to the basketball scene. And then there's also stars like Venus Williams. Venus Williams had one of the biggest endorsement deals ever with Reebok. I think she signed with them in the 2000s, and they had a 5-year deal until 2005. Where she earned gang moolah for it. It was about $40 million in her time, which is now about 680 million. Excuse me. Some other celebrities that have worked with them are people like 50 Cent, Nelly, Ariana Grande, Scarlett Johansson, Cardi B, Gal Gadot, Kendrick Lamar as well. What I find really interesting about Reebok, I feel like their choices in celebrity collaborations are so like everywhere, you know, like it doesn't have like an alignment. You can't see directly who they try to pick, you know, like with Nike, you know that they always pick like sports stars that are at the top of their game. That's like what they always do, right? And then you know, with Adidas, they usually choose very trendy type people. But I feel like with Reebok, I can't tell, because it's like Gigi Hadid this side, she's a supermodel. Then it's like Cardi B, you know, she's a rapper. Then it's like 50 Cent, and I'm like, okay. Then I'm like Kendrick Lamar here. Then it's Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is like some Hollywood actress, and Scarlett Johansson. So I'm like, what drives their choices like in people? I even saw now when I went onto the website that they've partnered with one of those, what's that boxing guy's name? Damn, I can't remember his name. But he's like really famous. He actually battled, damn, he's Irish and he's like kind of racist. Damn, I can't remember his name now. But if you know who I'm talking about. Someone really cool that they've worked with though is Steven Smith. He's a sneaker shoe designer. He actually designed the Insta Pump Fury, which has gone on to become one of Reebok's most famous shoes. What I found interesting about that is that he left Reebok and then now he's actually the designer for the Yeezy collection. So the Yeezy boots that you guys are all feeling and loving, he's actually one of the men responsible for those designs. Especially, if I'm not mistaken, he actually designed the Yeezy Boost 700, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Which is, for me, was like really cool, because obviously the Yeezy Boost 700 is like a shoe that I really love. But I also find it so interesting to find out who are actually the people behind the shoes that we love most. Okay, now onto some iconic moments that Reebok has had. In 1982, they actually launched something called the Reebok Freestyles, which was a shoe that was specifically marketed for women. They even used a woman by the name of Jen Miller. She's actually famous for step aerobics. If you don't know what step aerobics are, I'll put like a picture for you. But it's those old school exercises where like the ladies, I think you've seen them in like movies, like the ladies in the 80s, they're always doing those step exercises where they go up on a step, up, down, up, down. It's almost like Taibo, but on like a lower level, like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know Taibo, I feel like then what? That's crazy. One of their most iconic lines of shoes was the Reebok Pump, which was actually released in 1989 and was actually made famous by a lot of sports athletes, including Shaquille O'Neal. It was actually the first shoe to ever have an internal inflation mechanism that actually supported the ankles during sport. Reebok has also created the Classics division, which is quite similar to the Adidas Originals line, because they used that division to actually revive remakes. In fact, I have one of Reebok's shoes here. Just give me a second. I have a Reebok Classic. I bought this maybe 2 years ago, end of 2018. These are my Reebok Classic leathers. They're like in a pastel yellow. I don't know if you guys can see. Hopefully you can. Yeah, they're like in a nice pale pastel yellow. I really like them, and I actually bought them because I wanted shoes that were like old school trainers, but I didn't want like New Balances. I have a thing about New Balances. I'm working on it. But yeah, I have a thing, but I wanted something that was like an old school trainer, and I really liked the color because it was really unique and very, yeah, like it was like something that you wouldn't find usually. So yeah, and I'm very into like pastel colors. Despite the fact that I wear a lot of black, I'm actually very into pastel colors. Yeah, so these are my Reebok Classics. Let me just put these on the side. At the 1992 Olympics, though, they took a huge blow when the US basketball team was actually very unhappy with being forced to wear the Reebok uniform when they got onto the podium should they win the tournament. They actually did win the tournament, and what is interesting is that Michael Jordan at the time was a part of the basketball team, and he went onto the podium and he covered the Reebok logo with the US flag, because he was showing his loyalty to his brand, Nike. If you want to find out more about that moment, be sure to watch the Last Dance documentary on Netflix. Something very cool, but also very random for me, is that UFC actually signed a 6-year deal with Reebok in 2014. So the deal should be finishing this year, but I think that I actually find that so interesting, because I'm just like, as a brand, like, why did you choose UFC? Do you get what I mean? Like, was it because nobody else was going there, or? And then in terms of favorites that I have from Reebok, obviously you guys know I showed you guys my classic leathers. They're definitely a favorite. I would definitely also get maybe a Club C85, definitely with the gum sole. And then what else? Oh, I would get a Legacy. There's a Legacy remake that's actually coming out this month, if I'm not mistaken. It should have already come out, or it should be coming out in the next week or so. And then what else? Oh, I would definitely actually get the Insta Pump Fury, besides the fact that I love the person who has actually designed them. If you guys, I'll actually leave a link in the description box, but you guys should go and check out his interview that he did on the Soul Collector YouTube page on the show Full Size Run. If you want to learn about sneakers and sneaker culture stuff, I would suggest watching that show. It's actually really amazing. They just ended their season 3 though, but they have like a bunch of seasons that you guys can watch. Is it season 3 or season 7? I think it's season 7. Sorry. A fun fact though about Reebok is that they have a shoe called the Princess Shoes. How cute. Okay, so guys, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know when it comes to Reebok. Now it's time for what's in the box. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we find today. Like, I feel like, girl. Okay. Yeah. Okay, what's today's word? Okay, today's word is grail, which is a term used to describe very rare sneakers, taken from the term Holy Grail. Ding, ding, ding. And that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this content and if you enjoy what topics we're discussing on this channel, please make sure to subscribe. Also like and comment on the videos and let me know your opinions about today's topic. Have a lovely week ahead, people. Mwah. Bye.